Hello, everyone. It's your girl Felicia, and I am coming to you today with some perspective on things. I want to talk to you guys today about being seasoned with salt. I'm going to read scripture first, and then we'll go into putting things in perspective a little bit. So, let me get my spectacles for a minute because I need those right now. Okay, so we're going to read Colossians 4 and 6. It says, "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person." That's very important. I'm going to read that again. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you should answer each person. I remember there was a time when we would say, don't be salty, right? It meant don't be mad, don't hate. But scripture tells us that we should be seasoned with salt. And it has nothing to do with being mad or hating on someone. It's speaking about the way we answer people. It's not what we say, it's the way that we say things to people. You can ask a person sometimes a question, and their response to it seems as though you're irritating them, or that they even hate that you're even talking to them. Sometimes their answer to your question could be such a angry return in response. There is such a difference in answering a person with respect for the person than answering them like you could have done something else besides ask me this question, or you shouldn't ask me this question because you should already know the answer to the question. But here's the thing. If we're asking someone a question, it may mean that we are unsure of the answer, or maybe we're asking this question so that we can see if there is different perspective from what we actually thought. But your answer should be given in a way to which you would choose to receive an answer back. Nobody wants to be talked to crazy. We all want to a response out of respect for the person that you're speaking to, right? Let me give you this analogy. So, picture a highly seasoned steak, seasoned to perfection, cooked just the way you like it. A nice, fluffy baked potato with everything that you choose to have on it, and a nice salad with your favorite dressing, and a little garlic bread on the side. A good flavored steak, filet mignon, if I may say. And then the person that's actually cooked this for you decide they're going to bring it to you on a garbage can lid. That steak doesn't look the same anymore, does it? Because who wants their food brought to them on a garbage can lid? We want our food to be brought to us in a presentation as to which we would wish to receive it, on a platter or a plate, right? Our answers should be the same way. We have to remember that we need to respect the person when we're answering, whether we feel like they should know the answer to the question, whether or not they may be catching you off guard or catching you in the middle of something. If you don't want to be answered with an attitude from the recipient of the person that's asking the question, then you should answer them the same way. It's not what you say. You can speak your truth. You can answer in your truth. You can answer an honest answer without having an attitude. Put yourself on the other side of the equation. We should amicably be able to speak with each other without snapping, without rolling our eyes, but being a person, regardless to what you think inside of your mind, thinking that this person asked me a question because either they wanted my opinion or maybe they just didn't have the right answer to the question, or they were unsure of the question, which is why they asked the question in the first place. Having somebody give you a snapback response is like having a bland steak, no salt, just bland, brought to you on a garbage can lid. Who wants that? I know I wouldn't want it. But what I would want is whoever I'm asking a question to respect the person that I am and give me an answer that doesn't come with an attitude or an eye roll or a neck roll, just an answer. I mean, sometimes we're clowning and we're acting silly, and that's fine. That's a joke. And so yes, in those instances, hey, we might have a little whatever, but that means that you and that person are on the same level. Your relationship with that person is on the level where you can just give some fancy snapback. But when you see that they're asking you a question that they really need to know the answer to, when you think that that person is serious about the question to which they're asking you, then you should be able to look within yourself and ask yourself, how would you want this person to respond to you? I mean, a person that only listens to their own self is foolish, right? So sometimes we need to go to other people and we need to get a different take on things. A question can be just a question. I can remember that people used to say all the time, there's no such thing as a dumb question. It doesn't matter whether you think it's dumb or not. The person is asking you a question out of respect because they think that you have the answer to whatever they're asking you about. Don't be that person that walks around irritated with everybody because they're asking you a question. Think about who you're speaking to. Think about the question that they're asking you and answer the question with gratitude. We should have an attitude for gratitude already, right? So then why would we give snapback to people just because they asked us a question? Why should we be so irritated with people because they're asking a question? Put yourself in the shoe of the other person and ask yourself, if you received an answer from that person that just asked you a question in the way to which you gave the answer to, are you going to be okay with that? You shouldn't, just like they shouldn't. We have to think about what's going on. We don't know what's going on in somebody else's mind and in somebody else's life. And then our bad attitude could have just made that person who was already having a bad day have a worse day, right? Because sometimes we all have a bad day, or sometimes we all get in that place where we're just not feeling it today. So to have someone to just snap at you when you're already battling with something else and all you asked was a question. Think about that. Because look at here. I know for myself, I want an answer from a person that can be happy to answer my question. A person that, even if you're not happy to answer the question, will answer the question without the attitude. We don't need the attitude. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Think about how they would receive your answer, and think about how you would feel if you received an answer with an attitude. Think about it. Until next time.